Hi, I'm Andrew Haines, owner of the St. Louis Ambush and the St. Louis Attack. I am here with Corey Adamson, who also is with the St. Louis Ambush and St. Louis Attack. Corey, tell us a little bit about your first season in St. Louis with the St. Louis Ambush.
So far, it's been great. It was unbelievable first season. First game of the season with all the fans, all the electricity. Big win, getting the first goal. Highlight of my life, I think. And then, the season obviously didn't go the way we wanted to. But it was a big learning curve for a lot of really young players, only having 2-3 real ironclad veterans on the team. We grew as a team, and I'm really looking forward to next season for sure.
Well, it was good. I remember your first goal when you scored. You got excited, ran up in the crowd, did some dancing in the aisle. I thought was awesome. Some people didn't like that so much, but I'm a showman and I love it. Tell us a little bit about the fan experience and how we try to make it more than just soccer or more than just football.
Well, it's a unique venue. Being indoors. You have that fan interaction. The fans are literally on the field with you. They're right there. They get to see everything, hear everything, feel everything. It's when they're all going so crazy and so nuts, and the way our fans do. You want to go up in the stands. You want to be a part of it. You definitely want to have that experience with each other. The family arena is a family arena. I'm telling you that crowd, it's all St. Louis 100% all the time, no matter what. And they supported us all throughout the entire season.
Talk a little bit about how physical the game of indoor soccer is. I mean, having played both indoor football and indoor soccer, most people would think indoor football is more physical or dangerous, but I know our guys took a beating this year, and you had a few injuries yourself.
It's a totally different animal. When you're playing outdoor soccer, you got a lot of space. It's one-on-one, and it's a real soft ground. These boards are unforgiving. You have no pads on. The ground's tough. The ground's hard. You get cut up. You get bloodied. You get battered and bruised. You know more than anybody. I think we had way more injuries with soccer than we did with the indoor football. And that just goes to show you that, it's nonstop, it's fast paced, it's hard hitting, and you have to keep up with it. Yeah, me being a smaller player, I don't really shy away from any tackles if anybody's ever seen me play, and sometimes I pay for it, but that's what you have a leave for. So
I don't know if you shy away for it as much as you actually go looking for it, but that's what I love about you. The fire. The great thing though is when you do take a beating, we've got the help of Mercy and White Lightning to make sure that you get recovered. And how has he done for you this season?
Lloyd's there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Everybody at Mercy's been amazing. Don Sorensen, the president, he's been to every one of our games, I think. He's been to everything, rooting us all on. Every time he sees me, he gives me a huge high five and a hug and everything. I think the way they've taken care of us has been top-notch professionally, and it's day in, day out work for them. It's been fantastic.
And that's important for us with all the injuries, just making sure that we get our players back on the field as quickly as we can. So we finished the soccer season, and it was kind of a rough season on the field. We finished 4-16, our first year against some very, very good competition. Tell us the transition from, indoor soccer to the St. Louis Attack in arena football.
It's tough. I'm such a competitive person. I can't stand losing. I hate it. It's the worst. I'd rather not lose than win almost sometimes. That's how much I hate losing. But transitioning to the Attack, the way those guys carried themselves and the way they came in to every practice and everything was perfect. If it wasn't perfect, coach was going nuts. If he wasn't going nuts, then it was just a boring practice and nobody had fun. You know, when you push each other like that every single solitary day, makes the games easy. And our games were our off days most of the time for the attack, and it was done so professionally, so hard, and so intense every single day. It was a great atmosphere, great thing to be a part of, and I was blessed to be a part of that. It definitely made me hungry for a ring, for sure.
Yeah, and we were very close to that ring. You know, throughout the season, though, you know, we had a couple challenges. You know, we had a big challenge in Lakeland, Florida, long road trip. Came down to the last few seconds of the game, and I remember that, you know, I took the water out there to the coach and suggested that we give you a shot to make it. You had a rough pregame, missing, you know, in warm-ups, and, you know, I think that the nice thing was that the team knew you were going to be able to make that kick to win us the game, and you know, going out there, just talk about that experience. You know, it was close to your hometown in Clearwater, Florida, and I saw all your family there, so it was great for them to get to see you play professional football and then also win us the game in the last few seconds.
Well, yeah, as you said, my whole family was there, grandmother included. I don't even think she's ever seen a soccer game, let alone a football game. Never played football before this season started, so to have them all there supporting me was incredible, and have the opportunity to even go out and win the game was something else. But, you know, the whole time leading up to it, it was right after halftime. We were down 20, I think. We got the ball back, scored a quick touchdown, got an interception on the very next drive. And I went up to Lloyd, our trainer, and I said, if this game comes down to me, we're going to win. And, you know, that kick, it solidified us in the championship game and everything like that. And I remember having the thought in my head, you know, you got a chance to do something big. You got a chance to win something. And I just sitting on the sidelines, I didn't really want anybody talking to me. You know, everybody was kind of like, oh, go get warmed up. I was like, just get out of my head. Leave me alone for a second. So, you know, luckily Chris, head coach, Chris McKinney, the head coach of the attack, he called my number. He gave me the chance, and, you know, I was able to come through.
All right. You know, your first season ever playing football, and first season of obviously professional football, you know, you were able to win all X-League Kicker of the Year. And I remember being on the conference call with the owners and coaches in the X-League, and, you know, it's hard for me not to want all of our guys to win. So I just tried to be real quiet, and the good thing is I didn't have to sell the rest of the league on anybody. Everybody could clearly see that you had a great season. You did really good on your kickoffs, you know, your extra points. So, and then the game winner, that was a big thing that was talked about throughout the league, because it was the only, I guess, thing that came down to the wire for the win. So, you know, what was it like to get that award?
You know, it was almost surreal. I remember getting the phone call from you telling me that I won it, and, you know, it's for me, it's one of those things that I'll never forget ever. You know, obviously that huge kick, that was you know, obviously big for me personally. You know, now I know in any other situation I can come through. You always think you can count on yourself, but you're never really sure until you find out. So when you go out there and hit something like that, it's big. And for the whole league, you know, there's a lot of guys, especially on our team, that didn't make that all X-League team that really, truly deserved it. And for me to be a part of it, I'm very blessed, very honored.
Yeah, and I agree. I think that our whole team should have been on that list.
Sure.
You know, I think that we played excellent football all season, with one exception, and that was in the X-Bowl. You know, the only game that ended up mattering. You know, we fell short. We made mistakes. You didn't dress for that game, but, you know, how did it feel, you know, being part of that team? Because, you know, these players really, you know, kind of brought you in and made you part of the family. And so, you know, how did that make, you know, what was going through your head during that game?
Just a whirlwind of emotions. I mean, every person that was on that bench wearing that black jersey, they were in that game, whether they dressed for the game or not. They were in that game 100%. You know, at halftime we had a couple injuries and a couple of guys that that really put their careers and you know the livelihoods at stake, and they fought through it. Our wide receiver Chris Head, he battled, and he battled all game just like everybody else on that team did. And you know, coming up short was tough, and it's gonna hurt for a while, for sure.
Yeah, I think that you know, from talking to some of the guys, like I said, you know, they really kind of brought you in. You were the soccer guy and brought in, and you know how would you rate your Madden skills? Because I've heard some stories on some of the road trips about you know, you playing some Madden with a few individuals, and you know, tell me a little bit about that experience.
Well, listen, you know, I've always been very good at Madden. I went undefeated all through college. It's registered. I got on the bus with a bunch of other football players. I was like, hey, I'll show them what's up. I hadn't played in a while. Been about 2 years since I had played, and I got my butt kicked. Pretty bad. Pretty bad.
Who ended up beating you on that?
Coop. Yeah.
Corey, talk a little bit about, you know, why you decided to stay in St. Louis. You know, you're from Clearwater, Florida. You were living in Texas before you moved here. You know, you've made St. Louis your permanent home now. You know, tell us why, and you know, what you're doing over the summer here and what you're doing in the off season.
It was the fans. The fans kept me here. The ownership, you obviously kept me here. When you offered to re-sign me for 2 years, I had to jump on it. The way the fans treated me all season has been incredible. Every single soccer field that I end up at, kids run up to me. They know my name. They come up to me. They after every game. It's been a phenomenal experience here in St. Louis. I love the city. There's so much to do here. I wouldn't want to leave, even if I didn't have a good season.
All right, now back to soccer. You know, we're getting ready to launch our second season, you know, November 8th at the Family Arena. You know, tell us what you've been working on this off season, and some of your other teammates, and what the plans are for the upcoming season.
Well, we want to come in fast, real strong, working right off the bat to get the cohesiveness together. We're going to have, I'm sure, a couple new guys. A couple more veterans, which will be great. You know, we already signed Beasley. He's going to be a huge addition, just in the locker room, at practice, just around, just teaching, you know, the younger generations, the younger players, more about this game, more how to defend, more how to attack, more how to keep the ball. Personally, I know myself, Corey Dowell, Richard Schmerman, and Chris Mattingly, he's doing triathlons and stuff. Corey and I are in the gym all the time. Schmerman's in the gym all the time. I put on about 10 pounds since the end of last season. So, you know, to deal with the physicality and everything. So I want to get out there, and I want to start rocking people. You know, I want to start.
It's not football, Corey. Yeah. So let's not tackle people out there yet. But no. So Corey, you're real active in the community with us, and you know, you're one of our fan favorites. Tell the fans how they can stay up to date with you, you know, on Twitter and Instagram and things like that. You know, a lot of times I see you retweet or you reply back to your fans, which is great. We got to have that interaction with our fans. So how can fans follow you?
Yeah, well, I'm on Instagram at Corey Adamson 4, and on Twitter at Adamson Corey 4. And then I have also a Facebook fan page. You can keep up to date with everything I'm doing there as well. Just Corey Adamson. Hit the like button. Like I said, I try to keep in contact with as many of my fans as I possibly can. I got a lot of really diehard, awesome kids that really have supported me very well. So I try my best to keep in contact with them and keep everybody up to date on where we're going to be, where I'm going to be, and what we're doing.
Corey, thanks for joining me, and thanks for sharing with the fans. You know, we want to do more of these interviews so that we can keep the fans up to date with what we're doing, a little background on players, and, you know, just continue to work hard. November 8th, we're expecting to fill up that Family Arena. Tickets, group tickets are on sale now. Season tickets are on sale. Single game tickets will go on sale in October, so come on out and check us out.
Ambush deep players to their forwards, however. Here's Moser, scores! Mark
Moser as Eric Eichmann was able to take control into the Kansas City.
St. Louis drops it back. Reiniger, a one-timer wide, rebound in front.